Well, hey, howdy, hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by to join me today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Ellie, and I'm a witch, and this over here is my teaching assistant, Andy, and today is Sunday, and on my channel that means it is Cryptid Countdown, and today we will be talking about the state of Arizona. If you're new to my channel, Cryptid Countdown is a series where I take a state, country, region, and I talk about the cryptids that reside in that area. If you're not interested in cryptids, however, I do have two other series on my channel. On Mondays, I talk about history, and on Tuesdays, I talk about true crime. This week, on Monday, I'm going to be talking about the Prohibition, and then on Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about Albert Fish. I do only have a few cryptids to talk about today, so I would prefer that my intro not be longer than the video, so let's go ahead and jump into talking about the cryptids of Arizona. So I do only have three cryptids to talk about today. I'm going to be talking about the Chupacabra, skinwalkers, and then the Mogollon monster. So not super long, but we are going to start with the Chupacabra. So to start with, we're going to start with El Chupacabra, which was first reported in 1995 in Puerto Rico, and they are known to be spotted in Central and South America, as well as parts of North America, mainly Mexico and the southwestern part of the United States. So, chupacabra translates to goat sucker. Chupar means to suck, and cabras means goat. Now, you might hear two different pronunciations. It's chupacabra or chupacabras. Both of them are correct, but the original pronunciation is with the S. So, these creatures were first noted due to their almost vampiric nature. They were known to drink the blood of livestock, most notably goats. Actual descriptions of the creature vary greatly. Some has reported it as like reptilian or alien-like. This description is specifically from Puerto Rico and Latin America. These accounts also say that the creature is very large, roughly the size of a small bear, and it has a row of spikes starting at the neck and it goes to the base of the tail. Other reports are that it's a dog-like creature, this being the general description from the southwestern United States. Now, sightings have been spotted as far south as Chile and as far north as Maine. However, there are other reported sightings in Russia and the Philippines. There's no true evidence of the chupacabras, only anecdotal evidence. So in the southwest United States and northern Mexico, it's believed that these chupacabras are actually canidae, which are wild dogs, foxes, and wolves. But in this case, it refers to coyotes who have mange. Overall, wildlife biologists have deemed chupacabras a hoax or urban legend. But overview aside, let's talk about the whole history of the chupacabra legend. So, in 1975, when the first reports of livestock with no blood began to roll in, the small Puerto Rican town of Moca, the reports started that livestock were found dead, drained of all their blood, and the only marks on the bodies was a series of small circular incisions. These attacks were originally thought to be related to a satanic cult, but were later attributed to El Vampiro de Moca, or the Vampire of Moca, now thought to be a chupacabra. The first attack actually reported as a chupacabra attack was in March of 1995 when 8 sheep were discovered dead, all of which had small puncture wounds in their chest area. It was later in August that an eyewitness, Madeline Tolentino, came forward about having seen El Chupacabra in the town of Canovanas. The town had lost over 150 animals to the strange attacks. The term chupacabra is thanks to a Puerto Rican comedian, Silverio Perez. After Puerto Rico reported the attacks, other countries followed suit with their own chupacabra sightings. These countries being Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and the United States. Most recent reports were in October and December of 2018. Some suspected the chupacabra for attacks on poultry in Manipur, India. However, scientists have said that these attacks were street dogs, not chupacabra. About a year later, in October of 2019, there was a video recorded by Mundo OVNI that showed the aftermath of a supposed chupacabra attack on chickens in Lares, Puerto Rico. Next, we're going to talk about my least favorite cryptid to ever exist, and that is skinwalkers. I hate talking about them. This is the only time I will ever speak about them, but skinwalkers. So these are most notorious in the Navajo culture and religion, though not much is known about them because the Navajo people are not supposed to speak about the skinwalkers. What is known about them is that they are some kind of evil witch that is able to transform into an animal or various animals. How these evil witches come to be isn't totally known. What is known is that the skinwalkers are pure evil and seen as an opposition to the medicine men who use magic to help others. In order to become a skinwalker, acts of evil must be performed. Acts like killing close family members. Skinwalkers are traditionally male and are able to be human or animal just by locking eyes with that being. Tales of skinwalkers are told to Navajo children to symbolize life and death, but it's also dangerous to share these stories. It's believed that if you speak of your encounters with a skinwalker, it will come and seek retribution, which is why most Navajo are extremely reluctant to share their stories. According to Navajo folklore, skinwalkers are generally seen as coyotes, owls, foxes, wolves, or crows. And that is all I have to say about skinwalkers. Moving on. Next is the Mogollon monster. So as I've stated before, every single state has their own iteration of a Bigfoot creature, and for Arizona, that is the Mogollon monster. So the Mogollon monster is commonly described as a large bipedal creature over 7 feet tall with large red eyes. Its body is said to be covered with long black or reddish brown hair, with the exclusion of its chest, face, hands, and feet. Reports claim it has a strong and pungent odor, described as that of, quote, dead fish, a skunk with bad body odor, decaying peat moss, and the musk of a snapping turtle, end quote. Anecdotal reports indicate that these creatures are allegedly nocturnal, omnivores, territorial, and sometimes violent. It's generally reported to walk with wide, inhuman strides, leaving behind footprints measuring 560 millimeters, which is about 22 inches. It mimics birds, coyotes, and other wildlife, and can emit unusual whistle sounds. It'll explore campsites after dark, build nests out of pine needles, twigs, and leaves, and hurl stones from locations that are hidden from view. The creature has also been said to decapitate deer and other wildlife prior to consumption. In numerous reports, the monster has been said to emit a blood-curdling scream, described as a sound like a woman in, quote, great distress, end quote. Accounts of the creature described in, quote, eerie silence prior to the encounter, and appreciable stillness in the woods that commonly surrounds predator animals, end quote. Reported sightings range along Arizona's Mogollon Rim from Prescott north to Williams, southeast to Alpine, south to Clifton, and northwest back to Prescott. The oldest known reported sighting was that in the 1903 edition of the Arizona Republican, in which I.W. Stevens describes a creature seen near the Grand Canyon as having, quote, long white hair and matted beard that reached to his knees. It wore no clothing, and upon his talon-like fingers were claws, at least 2 inches long, end quote. Upon further inspection, he noted, quote, a coat of gray hair nearly covered his body, where here and there a spot of dirty skin showing, end quote. He later stated that after he discovered the creature drinking the blood of 2 cougars, it threatened him with a club and, quote, screamed the wildest, most unearthly scream, end quote. Cryptozoologist Don Davis reported that during the mid-1940s, he was on a Boy Scout trip near Payson, Arizona, and gave the following account. Quote, the creature was huge. Its eyes were deep-set and hard to see, but they seemed expressionless. His face seemed pretty much devoid of hair, but there seemed to be hair along the sides of his face. His chest and shoulders and arms were massive, especially the upper arms, easily upwards of 6 inches in diameter, perhaps much, much more. I could see he was pretty hairy, but didn't observe really how thick the body hair was. The face and head was very square sides, squared up chin like a box, end quote. Marjorie Grimes, a White River, Arizona resident, claimed to have sighted the creature a number of times between 1982 and 2004. She described the creature as black, tall, and walking in big strides. Professor of Biology Stan Lidston of Northern Arizona University dismisses the idea that a large humanoid creature would remain hidden in such a large area of the country. Quote, I put that in the category of mythology that can certainly make our culture interesting, but has nothing to do with science, end quote. Generally, the scientific community attributes creature sightings to either hoaxes or misidentifications. As recently as the 1930s, grizzly bears roam the forests of Arizona. Other large mammals such as black bear, mountain lions, and elk may also account for sightings. So that is all I have for you today. Kind of a shorter video. I did only have a couple of cryptids, which is weird because I'm from Arizona, but I've heard about chupacabras, but other than that, I didn't really hear much about cryptids, and I I'd never heard of the Mogollon Monster before researching it, but I've been to the Mogollon Rim, which is gorgeous, by the way. If you're ever in Arizona, 100% recommend it. It is stunning. But yeah, it was definitely really interesting to kind of learn about Arizona. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you today. A little bit shorter. Tomorrow's video will be a little bit longer. I'm going to be talking about the Prohibition. I'm really excited to talk about that. I think it's a really interesting era of the United States history. But yeah, so I hope you tune in for that, and I hope to see you on Tuesday when I talk about Albert Fish. So that one is another heavy case involving children. I'm doing my best to stop. But if you liked the video, hit that like button and tell me if I missed a cryptid that you do know about. And if you didn't like the video, hit that dislike button and tell me what you think I can improve in the comments down below. I appreciate constructive criticism. And with all that being said, I hope that I see you guys next time. Bye.